Dear students of first semester BBA, here are some of the examination tips for the subject management principles and practices. Here you can see you have a syllabus of the subject MPP, where you can see you have 6 modules which has been already discussed in the class. You have to concentrate on covering all the modules without skipping any of the modules. That is one of the major thing. Here you can see the question paper pattern or a template for your examination, semester end examination. The duration of the question paper is 2 hours and you have it for 60 marks. It has been segregated into 4 divisions, 4 sections. Section A has around 7 questions, out of which you have to attempt any 5. Each question carries 2 marks, totaling to 10. Section B is about application questions, which has 5 questions, out of which you have to attempt any 4 of your choice, and it is for 5 marks each, totaling to 20 marks. Section C is relating to analysis and understanding questions, and you have 3 questions, out of which 2 questions needs to be attempted. Each carries 12 marks, totaling to 24 marks. And the sections D, skill development questions. You will be having 2 questions, out of which you need to attempt only 1, which is a very easy section, I could say. Here you shouldn't skip these sections at all. You should be prepared for this section. Okay, let's discuss some of the examination tips. See here, when you are writing the degree level examination, it is not same as the SSLC or the PUC level. Here it is something different. You are writing it for 60 marks and you have to write in 120 minutes, that is 2 hours, and there are 4 sections, and you are not going to write the answers in just key points or anything. If you write it in key points, you are going to lose lot of marks. The question paper evaluator will be, your answer sheet evaluator will be expecting a sufficient answer in your question answer sheet. So to make sure that you are writing a good and sufficient answer, you have to have a proper time plan. Exactly, we cannot estimate that you should write a 2 marks questions in 4 minutes only or 2 minutes only. No, we cannot say like that, but still you should have an approximate time plan for that. Okay, first, when you see a question paper, when the invigilator hand overs a question paper to you, first go through the question paper. Stay calm, don't get panic, don't get confused, do not concentrate on the other peoples around you. Carry your all belongings whichever you need. You shouldn't stay confused or panic during your examination. You should be happy, calm, and you should only be worrying about your paper. Okay, first go through your question paper and see that what are all questions the question paper setter has asked. And just if you have a pencil, just mark it down which questions you know, and later you should concentrate on attempting those questions first for which you know the clear answer, and next those questions for which you know approximate or near answer, like I know 50-50 kind of answer. Okay, and if you are not at all sure about any questions, I suggest don't touch those questions. Don't waste your time spending thinking or trying to copy it from others, or wasting all these things are just waste of your time. This won't give you any kind of marks when you are trying in the first semester. Okay, just avoid depending on others. Depending on others is the biggest foolishness we could say. So you should always depend on yourself, and trust your intelligence, trust your efforts, and try to answer yourself instead of trying to copy or showing your answers to others is also not a part of integrity, right? So be aware of this and have a time plan first. To how Let me show you how can we have a time plan. Here you can see that I have segregated the section A, B, C, D, and marks for each question, number of questions to be attempted in the each section, and how much marks we could take, and total time we should take in the each section. Okay, as I said that you have total of 120 minutes, right? Out of that 120 minutes, first you segregate that 10 minutes. Okay, you divide that 120 minutes into 110 minutes and 10 minutes. The 10 minutes is for 5 minutes is for reading the question paper before you start the examination, whereas the remaining 5 minutes is for the after examination. Once you write the exam answer your write the answer in the script, you need to check whether you have written the proper question number for all the questions. If you have put anything, if you have left anything, or if you have scratched or forgot to write it properly or something, some mistake we would have done. Obviously we all are human beings, so for checking that, for going through that, you need to keep 5 minutes after examination also. Okay, so that 5 plus 5 minutes, 10 minutes we will keep beside. Here you can see that I have segregated that 120 minutes plan here. For section A, 2 marks questions each, out of which you need to attend 5, right? You have to spend 2 to 4 minutes for each question minimum. I Obviously it is not possible that we write it in 30 seconds or 60 seconds for 2 marks question. Obviously we will take at least 2 minutes. The maximum should be 4 minutes for each question, and overall when you are writing that 5 questions of 2 marks each, you should take only 10 to 20 minutes. Only 10 to 20 minutes, not more than 20 minutes. Okay, minimum obviously you will take 10 minutes for 5 questions, maximum it should be 20 minutes only. Like that only section B also. 5 marks each questions you have to attempt any 4 of the questions. You need to take 5 to 10 minutes for each question. In overall, minimum of 20 to maximum of 40 minutes in section B. Maximum of 40 minutes in section B, maximum of 20 minutes in section A. Means here the first hour, 60 minutes, you would have covered your section A and section B. Section A and section B you should have covered. Next, section C. Here C, you have each question of 12 marks. Okay, any 2 questions only. Here each question you should concentrate. It is since it is only for 12 marks, the minimum time obviously it may take 15 minutes, and maximum time for each question should be 20 minutes only, and it should be around 30 to 40 minutes. 30 to 40 minutes for that section C of 2 questions. And section D, there is one 6-mark question for that. In that section, that is skill development question, they may ask anything. They may ask anything from the syllabus what they have specified under this skill development section. Only one question will be there. I mean the 2 questions will be there, but you have to attempt only one question, right? You can take around 10 minutes, draw something, put some drawings, write something about that. 10 minutes you can spend for that, and obviously the total maximum time you can take is 110 minutes. So this is how you should plan. For this plan, uh, how you have to write so that you can manage the answers. First, you should also know the tips for answering. How much marks for each question, how much answer and or how much points or explanation I need to give for that question. You need to plan that first. Unnecessary explanations are not required. Additional or irrelevant content are not required. Example, if they have asked you, list out the 4 principles of management. Okay, just when they are telling, specifying that list out, you just need to specify the key words. You don't need to give an explanation for that. Okay, if they have said list out the process or steps of communication, you just need to list out. You don't need to give an explanation for that. Okay, or writing an irrelevant content here means that the question paper setter might have asked you, write the qualities of a good leader. Okay, if the question itself is stating that he is asking the qualities of a good leader, some of them will write some irrelevant answers, which is something relating to leadership, the features of a leader, of a leadership, advantages of a leadership in an organization, disadvantages of a leadership in an organization. There is all these answers are something additional which is not at all expected by the evaluator, okay, during your papers evaluation. So when you just concentrate what actually the question paper setter has asked and try to answer only those things, do not put unnecessary answers or do not write irrelevant answers. Okay, answers should be relating to the question only. You cannot put an answer of some other question to some the question which they have asked. Sometimes they ask the questions of um, write the what do you mean by span of control. Okay, if they have asked a meaning of the span of control, somebody is just imagine you are writing an answer of what do you mean by management, then it is like you are not at all relating, you are not writing an answer which is relating to that specific question, right? So you have to see whether you are aware of that question or not. If you are not sure about that, if you don't know about that, just skip it. Just skip it and concentrate on the questions for which you are sure about that. Okay, you know the answer and you are sure that you can write and you get some marks for that, then you should attempt that. Avoid writing in your own words. Obviously, you might have heard that your seniors might be telling you that writing in our own words. Yes, obviously, after some point when you go to second year or a final year, it is common that your maturity level is grown and you will understand the subjects in a right manner, and presenting it in your own words that time would work well. But now, even in the early stage of your graduation, I don't think that writing it in your own words, especially in section A, section B, and section D, is not at all right. Okay, if you want to score good marks in section, if you want to score good marks, you have to concentrate more on the section A, B, and the D here, because in the evaluation what happens is that they give out of out marks. If it is a theory subject, they give out of out marks for 2 marks questions, 5 marks questions, and this section D 6 marks question without deducting if you have written it well. But for 12 marks question, even if you have written it well, they may give you 10 or 11. Okay, to get 12 out of 12 you have to write like an expert. Okay, if you have that ability, you have practiced well, that is good. But here you can use some of your own words, but for section A, B, and D, try to avoid using your own words. Okay, practice to avoid those own words. You should practice, write in a paper sheet, make the keynotes of that, practice, revise it. Practice and presentation both are very much important during your examination. Okay, don't take more time for a single question or a single section. First concentrate on attempting the questions which you can answer well, and if you are not sure about it, just skip it. Okay, plan your time, like I have told you, minimum time and maximum time for that section. Don't take more than that maximum time. uh, then it will be like you're just losing your marks. Okay, I have heard that some of my students telling that the question paper was very much easier, ma'am, but we were not able to answer for all the questions. When I asked why it is so, they have told me that it is because the question paper was easy. I have written so much of answer. I have written 5 pages of answer for 15 marks question. Then there is no use of that. Even if you have written 2 pages or 3 pages of answer for the 15 marks question, the question evaluator will give you 15 marks only, or if you have written 6 pages also, the evaluator can give you 15 marks only. Then why did you spend so much of time in one single question is my question. Okay, so you shouldn't do that kind of mistakes here. Here I have taken some of the questions in section A, B, C, D, and have shown you how to write, how much to write for what type of questions. Here you can see the question, define the term management. Okay, see, manage answer for 2 marks question. Management defined as all the activities and tasks undertaken for achieving goals by continuous activities like planning, organizing, leading, and control. This is what sufficient answer. When you write it in your answer sheet, it may cover 2 to 3 lines depending your size of the handwriting. Okay, so here that's it. We are not, the evaluator will not be expecting a 5 to 10 lines of answer for the 2 marks question. No, evaluator want to see that whether you have covered the exact point and the relevant answer for that specific question. That's it. Okay, if you write this much, the evaluator will definitely, without thinking for a second, the person will give you a 2 out of 2. Here you can see what do you mean by staffing. Staffing refers to the continuous process of finding, selecting, evaluating, and developing a working relationship with or the future employees. This is one line. You can see beginning from here till full stop, one line. Another, the main goal of staffing is to fill the various roles within the company with suitable candidates. Covering these 2 specific lines gave 2 marks to the candidate. Okay, here you see, mention any 4 principles of management. Just the person is asking mention or list out. Like this, if the question is, then you do not need to give an explanation. That is waste of your time. Okay, mention any 4 principles of management. Just out here I have just given 5 principles. You can also give 5 or 6 principles, whichever you know, just to avoid if in case any of the principle is wrong, by chance you have forgot and you have written, got confused and you have written something wrong, to make sure that at least 4 should be right, so you get 2 out of 2. It is better always to write 6 at least if they have asked 4. Okay, make sure you should don't do any spelling mistakes. Try not to do spelling mistake. It is not like compulsorily you shouldn't do a spelling mistake. We can understand that in the first year, first semester, it's possible and it is common also. Just try to avoid it. Okay, like this you have to attempt for the 2 marks question. No more extra additional points, additional explanation or unnecessary explanation here. Other some of the important 2 marks questions for this subject I have put here. You can take a screenshot of this and prepare for these questions. I'm not telling that only the question from here will be taken. I could say that out of 7 questions, at least you will get minimum 4 questions from here, so that you will get at least 8 marks without much effort. Okay, so you take the screenshot here and practice these questions well, write it, practice. Next, here I have taken an example for the 5 marks question also. The question is, explain the importance of the planning. When they are saying explain the importance of planning, you just concentrate on writing the importance. Don't write futures, characteristics, advantages, disadvantages, all those things not needed. Okay, the question is for 5 marks, that should be there in your mind. And importance of planning, you can say that some of the importance for planning are here written down, or as follows, something like that. Next, you just write some of the key points and write explanation for them. Here I have taken some big explanation, good explanation I could say. If you think that this is something more, okay, this is something more for you, it is fine. It is fine that you don't need to write all the explanation. You can see that here First point helps to set the clear objectives. You can say planning is concerned with setting objectives, targets, and formulating plans to achieve them. This much of explanation is also sufficient. You don't need to give all the whole explanation. Let's take this fourth point. Minimize the risk. Planning is based on the forecasting techniques. It is the process of looking into the future and anticipating the future changes by deciding in advances the task to be performed. Planning shows the way to deal with the changes and uncertain events. This much of explanation is enough. Okay, so if you just have to see that your answer here the uncertain events, deal with changes and uncertain events, is a word which is matching with the minimizing of risk, minimizing the risk. The key point should match with the explanation inside that key point. That is what you need to concentrate. For 5 marks, 5 points, minimum of 5 points, 5 key points with explanation. Okay, next, if you don't remember that, if you are not giving an explanation and in the question if they have asked explain the importance, explain karke if they have asked, or write briefly karke or something like that if they have asked, and you have not given an explanation, that then out of 5 you will get only 2 for the key points which you have written, only 2. You are losing 3 marks there. Okay, you concentrate there. And here explain the various steps in controlling. You can see that I have put a chart so that it attracts the evaluator. Okay, attracts the evaluator, and each step put the key point and write it in 1 or 2 lines. The lines of explanation should match with the key point again. Okay, this is the example 2. Next, some of the other important 5 marks questions from this subject I have put here. Around 15 questions are there. You can take a screenshot here and practice well for this 15 questions, because out of these 15 questions, even if you get 3 questions also, you will be able to get 3 or 4 questions, you will be able to get 15 to 20 marks easily. Next, 12 marks questions. How you have to write 12 marks question? You remember that 12 marks questions means at least of 12 points. The evaluator is not expecting that you should write 12 marks 4 pages or 5 pages. Okay, don't write 4 or 5 pages. Even if you are writing 2 pages or 3 pages, that should be sufficient. It depends on your handwriting, neatness, clarity of your thoughts also. The question evaluator is expecting that whether you have written the answer for the question, you have covered all the expected answer for the question. What is expected in this question? You see here, explain the advantages and the disadvantages of the business social responsibility. Okay, if you want, obviously you can give the meaning of the business social responsibility also. If you're sure about that and you have studied that, you have put effort, obviously you can write your meanings for that 5 marks questions also, and for 12 marks question also. But that is not what the evaluator is expecting here. What is expected is you have to write the advantages and the disadvantages. For 12 marks, the person may be expecting that you write 6 advantages and 6 disadvantages, or 12 in overall 12 points, whether it is advantages or disadvantages with equal importance, something like that the person may be expecting. So here I have written advantages of the business social responsibility. See here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 points of advantages are there. Here 3 points of disadvantages are there. Okay, you can see the explanation is of 2 or 3 lines. If you are like, okay, I can learn it, I can write it, that is good. Or you can make some you just learn the key points. Okay, concentrate more on the key points and learn two lines for each, two lines for each point, and write 12 to 15 points so that you can not lose the marks. At least you should be like getting 10 marks for the 12 marks questions. Okay, here some of the important questions for 12 marks. There are 7 questions here. If you study this, you will be able to at least attempt 2 questions. Okay, next 6 marks. 6 marks skill development questions in this subject. In this management principles and practices subject, they have given 3 skill development activities which you have already written in your record book, skill development record book also. 2 cases which we have already solved and written in the book. Second one, draft the different types of organizational structure. Third one is drafts control charts. Here in the section D skill development question, you will be having 2 questions out of which you need to attend only one, right? The chances of asking the case study is less as of now for the first semester, but drafting a different organizational structure and drafting control charts, these two are expected this time. Okay, you should be ready with these two pakka, so that even if they ask the case study in the examination, you can leave that and attempt any of these whichever they have asked. Okay, here you can see draft different types of organizational structure. Here there are 4 organizational structure. You don't need to write this solid or 4-week MBA, not like that. I have just taken it from some source of 4-week MBA. That's why I have put it like that only, because it's copyright infringement if I take and show it in a wrong way, present it in a wrong way. Okay, so here you can see functional organizational structure, divisional structure, matrix structure, and flat structure are there. 4 structure, 4D, what you say that drawings of that structures are there. You can just draft it like this so that you can get 6 out of 6 marks in the examination. Next question is draft control charts. I have written the meaning of the control chart, and these are some of the control charts. The control charts has been segregated into numerical, continuous and discrete numerical data. Variable charts and attribute charts are there. R chart, mean chart, P chart, and C chart. The meaning of that also has been written, so that you should be able to write this much. And if you are writing this, you should get 6 out of 6 without any second thought. The evaluator should be able to give you a 6 out of 6 here. Okay, so be ready for these 2 questions for the skill development without skipping. Here I have covered everything relating to management principles and practices. If you have any doubt, you can let me know in our WhatsApp group. Okay, to end up with this session, I can say that success without integrity is failure. Be careful, don't depend on others, just have your integrity. I mean, follow your ethics. Don't copy from others, don't show your answers to others. Okay, even if you copy and score a lot of marks and you are a topper of the class, is also that is no use. Okay, just have your integrity, be honest to yourself, be honest to the god. Okay, good luck for your examination and do your best. All the best.